Hello, Internet. So, yeah, new comic book talk for the first time in a long time. Today I'll be talking about Saga issue 26. So, I haven't really talked about this book before. I'm not going to do like a recap or what happened last time. I'm just going to jump into it like I usually would and just talk about what happened this time. I guess I'll talk about like where the last issue ended. Basically, we had they were called the Rebellion showing up. Basically, it's a faction in the war between Wreath and Landfall, the moon, and the land planet, or the two sides warring in the story. That doesn't like either side. It's like, oh, there's another faction in the conflict that doesn't like either side and wants to bring them both down. So that was a nice, interesting curve thrown in. So yeah, we pick up and we're in this convenience store. Marco's witnessing this clerk get robbed. It's interesting because at first he's not doing anything; he's just standing there watching. And then, like the clerk's like, don't kill me. I've got a family to take care of, man. And then Marco steps in. I guess he's just like, okay, well, this guy's like me, so I gotta help him out. Or like feeling some guilt because he's looking for Hazel and Alana. But yeah, but then it's all in whatever the wing people speak. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, that language is not in English, so I have no idea what they're saying. But then there's some he says something like veterano, so I guess he says something about how he like fought in the war, and then the dude like attacks him, and then Marco proceeds to just like beat the crap out of him and almost kill him. And so like while that's happening, the clerk runs out and he's like, someone help me, and then Yuma sees it and she's like, oh jeez. But then like Marco's like just like bludgeoning the dude, like he's about to kill him, and then Goose sees him. He comes out of the bathroom. I think that's a bathroom, and he's like, "What are you doing, Marco?" And then he's like, "I don't know, man." And then Prince Robot the Fourth comes and he's like, "Don't stop. Just you got to look at your face. You got to finish him off. Kill him. He's gonna warn somebody if you don't." And then Yuma's like, "You can't just murder him, dude. That's not how Marco operates." And then Marco is like, "Yeah, I told you when we started this mission, no killing." And so that's a new thing because we didn't know about that. Apparently, they're like part of the agreement. Besides, no direct talking between Marco and Prince Robot, even though they continue to talk back and forth. Is Marco doesn't want to kill anybody. Prince Robot's all for it. He's like, whatever, dude. Let's break some eggs to make this omelet. He's kind of lost everything, so it's like he doesn't care. He's like, I don't give a F. So, yeah, that's kind of funny. But yeah, that happens. And then Yuma's like, it's cool, I'll take care of it. I'll erase all the surveillance footage. And then you see her take some drugs out of the dude's pocket. And then Prince Robot's like, this isn't going to happen. Like, it's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to make it through this without killing anybody. You're all a bunch of naive people, whatever. Walks off. And then we go back to the ice planet that Hazel and Marco's mom and Alana are on, being held by Dango, who also has Prince Robot's son. And so we see some of the rebellion people and like some of their names, but we don't really get too much info on them this issue. So yeah, but basically what happens in this next scene is we have Dango talking to Alana. And then he's like, yeah, I worked out this deal with these rebellion dudes, and I'm going to sell you guys out and try to use your daughter against them. And then, before that happens, Alana's like, because she has that piece of wood or whatever it was from the last issue that she like stuck in her pocket, she was going to like stab him in the neck with. And that was like the plan to like just kill him and like make a run for it. But before that can happen, he pulls a gun out and he's like, yeah, well, I'm going to take you to the people I'm making a deal with. And she's all like, well, yeah, she's like making this sympathetic, like trying to persuade him moment of like, I can see where you're coming from as a dad, and you've lost your family, I can relate, blah, blah, blah. But he's not having any of it, and he's like, whatever, let's just go over to talk this deal out. And then we go to the demon, I forgot, it's demon something or other planet with the dragons, and Gwendolyn and Lion Cat and the dog and Sophie and the Will sister. I forget her name right now. So they're fighting the dragons, and then they're having a pretty bad time of it. Also in the funny last issue, they got peed on, get marked. That was pretty funny. But yeah, so they're fighting them, and then it looks like they're gonna about to have a bad day, and then Sophie's like, "Hey, Gwendolyn, use the translation pendant and pair it with one of the dragons to see if they can understand us." And then she does it, and then it's like really hilarious. What happens next is like Sophie just shouts, "Everyone be friendly!" And it's like, oh, that's crazy. And then they all stop, like all the dragons look confused, and then she starts talking to them, which is pretty cool. She's like, "Yeah, we're sorry, we were attacking you and stuff. We're just looking for a cure for the will, but we need a boy dragon because they have the ingredients that we need." Because they're looking for dragon. Was it dragon semen? It was, yeah, something really gross. But yeah, so that happens, and they talk to the dragons, and they're like, "Well, because of your kind, we're all almost dead, and there's only one male dragon left, but he's very, very not friendly." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then they go away without telling them where he's at. And then the Wells sister's like, "Well, they're probably on Mount Lazuli. Let's go up there and look, because me and the Will were there once upon a time when we were kids." And then you see this panel where it's like, oh, also we have like some Hazel narration here, and it's like, wow, I completely skipped over the whole Hazel narration in the story. But basically, she's talking about let's see, so the last part when she's like with Dango and them, it's like, when you have a kid, you're never alone, and then you also have like a rapid growing expansion of your social circle, whether you like it or not, and then get to know more and more people, blah blah blah, because of the children or the people in your children's life, and they all get dragged into it. Or this anecdote that basically Alana told her in the future about stuff like this, and then so we have this like the panel with like scope on Sophie from like far away, and you're like, oh no, what's happening? And it turns out, oh, and then like I guess it says welcoming a young person into your life also means letting an endless parade of new oddballs. And so you see the like that from that perspective, and then it like shows like it just like slowly zooms out to like see who's the person with the gun, and it's someone that looks a lot like the Stalk, but it's a dude. So maybe it's like a either relative or acquaintance of the Stalk who's out to get revenge. But then it's been such a long time since I read the first arc, I didn't even remember who ended up killing the Stalk, so I'll have to go back and check that out. So I'm like, did Gwendolyn kill the Stalk? I don't think that's how that went down. I don't remember. I have to go back and check it out. But yeah, that's what happens. I think it wasn't. I remember who it was. Okay, it wasn't Gwendolyn. I remember who it is now. But yeah, it's like, why would the Stalk person that's not the Stalk or the same species, I mean, as the Stalk is like, they're like the gross. They're the worst. They have like the body of a spider, essentially. It's essentially like a centaur if the bottom half was a spider and the top half was a human. Because like a centaur is like a bottom half is a horse and the top half is a human. But it's like that creature design, it just freaks me out every time I see it. Just it's the worst. So it's like when it's one of those people and they have a rifle and they're like apparently following Gwendolyn, Sophie. Oh, the Brand. That's the name of the Will sister. The Brand, Lion Cat, and the Sweet Boy, I believe is the dog's name. So they're being followed by this new spider centaur person on the dragon planet trying to find a cure. And then we fly back, or we don't fly back. And then the next scene is back on the ship with Marco, Dingo, Yuma, Goose, trying to find Hazel and Alana. And you have this discussion between it's pretty funny because you have this discussion between Yuma and Marco, and then like halfway through the discussion, Marco's like, "Are you high?" And then and then like you find out Yuma took the drugs that were on the dude in the supermarket or whatever, or the convenience store. And it's just like great. It's like he's like talking to her, like thinking that she's listening. She is listening, but then he's like, "Are you high?" And it's like, oh, that's fun, so funny. But yeah, oh yeah, he's like, okay. So they have this discussion, and he reveals to her that he basically has this I guess, violent streak in him. He's like, I just want to kill things. Okay, he doesn't say I want to kill things and like, punch people in the face or whatever. But he's like, I was punching that guy and I almost killed him. I couldn't stop, and I kind of enjoyed it. And then like before Alana and Hazel got abducted, I kind of threw that didn't he like throw the groceries at Alana? I think because he said he got physical, but like I don't remember like it being that. Unless there's like something else that happened besides that part, because like he threw the groceries at her after she accused him of cheating with the dancer lady that was giving dance instructions. But yeah, that happens, and then she's all like, well, oh yeah, and he like brings up the whole thing about like how Yuma was giving Alana the drugs, and like, you ruined my life, all this stuff, and my family, blah blah blah. And she's like, well, you're probably like the only variant I know that's not on drugs. That's why they all take them. And he's like, but like, why was she trying to get away from me, or what was she trying to find? And she's like, peace. And she's like, ah, and like, yeah, this panel of like Marco just like wringing his neck. He's just like, ah. Let's see. Okay, then we go back to the ice planet. It might have a name, whatever. I don't remember. Whatever, no big deal. And then you've got 3 of the rebellion. Actually, about the well, they're called the Force Cell. They tell Dingo who they are, and so one of them. It was weird because like in the last issue, they looked like similar species of the dance instructor, but upon further inspection, she looks very much like a merfish person. But I don't know. Maybe they're the same. It just is different. Like zoom in. Like I can't tell from that angle, but whatever. She's got like a really revealing outfit on, and there's this dude that looks like he kind of looks like the people who attacked Sophie. Well, they didn't attack Sophie and Gwendolyn, but they were looking for the files to find the cure for the will, and there's like this weird, I don't know how to describe them, but they're very similar to looking human, but then their face is very like some sort of like monstrous creature. That guy is like this guy like that, and he's like a grenade bandolier type thing on him in a trench coat, and there's like the snake dude who we haven't seen anybody like looks like that with these. He's got like 2 arms, but then he's got like 2 mandible like T-Rex arms on his abdomen, and he's got a snake body, which is super weird. So I'm kind of wondering, this guy looks. Yeah, I'm very interested to see him in action, to like see what he does, because he has like some sleeping power. Because he ends up putting Alana and Marco's mom to sleep, because they're all like, yeah, talking all weird. Well, they're not talking all weird to them, but they're doing their thing, and they just want to like negotiate with Dingo. But yeah, that happens, and then Dingo's like, yeah, man, I'm glad to finally meet you guys and stuff. Oh, I kind of forgot to mention that, like, before this happened, like, at the very beginning, when they were talking about this, and Dingo was telling them his plan and stuff, like, Alana and Marco's mom totally flipped out, because they're like, do you know what they've done? They blew up a daycare center, and they, like, charged into this concert and killed all the people and cut all their heads off or whatever. For, like, super violent tactics of, like, getting their thing, or getting things done against the Moonies and the Landifalians. I forgot the faction names, or the shorthand. Anyway, so yeah, the Wreath and Landfall factions. Let's see. Oh yeah, then they have like a doctor, and his name's Ziz, and he's checking him, and he's like examining Hazel, and he's like, yeah, the half-breeds. Does he call her half-breed or the hybrid? The hybrid is the real deal. And then like the leader dude's like, oh, so it is true, and you're here the whole time with the Mooney and a Wingnut? And then Dingo's like, yep, this is happening. And then the lady, I don't know her name, she's all, oh, the guy called her Julie, so her name's Julie. So she's all, that looks like the princeling that was taken from the royal family. But then, there's like this weird comment where they call, I completely forget what Prince Robot's son's name is. I don't know if he has a name yet, but like, she's like, Captain, look, the baby, it's colored. And then they look at his TV, because he's one of the like robots or whatever, the androids that have like the TV heads. And then like, but it was weird because it's like I like couldn't understand like why she called him that, because I think every time I've seen a robot, all of them have had colored panels, unless I just didn't catch it. So I really want to like go back and check that out. But yeah, I guess like because of that, she was able to like see, oh, this is one of the the royalty, blah blah blah, royal blood, because he has that display like unlike the other androids. Let's see. What else happens? Oh, okay, so like that happens, and then Dango's like freaking out, like, oh man, they're gonna try to bring me in for this bounty of like tons of money that is on my head. He's like, dude, I was only here to talk about the hybrid girl and not my actions on. But then like before he can finish, the snake guy totally just like hugs him, and he's like, ha ha ha, and like it does this creepy whisper in his like ear of like, you have struck a blow to the heart of the most wretched monarchy in the long history of wretched monarchies. Ah ha ha ha. And he's like, brother, you and I are going to do wonderful things in like this super evil villain embrace of like Dingo's rise to ascension. And then there's some like more Hazel narration there of like, oh, maybe Dingo's having some second thoughts, or regretting this right now. And then you have like the super weird dream moment. Okay, yeah, that's the end of that scene. And the next scene, super like the way this story is. Well, I guess whatever. Some of the endings are crazy, some of the endings aren't, but like this one's super weird, where you have a dream sequence that you don't know is a dream sequence because you're like, I didn't know at the time, because I was like, what that was happening until you got to the end, where you have Prince Robot and he walks in on the princess who's been murdered, and like she's not dead, and like he has this weird this weird fantasy plays out. I'm not gonna say what happens. You have to read it for yourself. And then like he wakes up only to realize that's not what happened. And then he finds Marco on the ground, completely just like out of it on drugs, and like you see all these wrappers around him. So clearly he took like more than like a normal dosage I would imagine a normal person would take, and he's just like foaming at the mouth. Yeah, he's very out of it. Not sure if he's like in dire straits of is he going to die or not, but yeah. Well, he's probably not going to die. It's like, unless I mean, he might have like an overdose, but like maybe in the Saga universe, when you have an overdose, you don't die. Something else weird happens, and he just like is going to be like in some weird dream state for a prolonged amount of time. But yeah, that was it for this month's issue of Saga. And then comic book talks, I'm trying to get them out, whenever I finish reading something. So, or whenever I get caught up, rather, because I don't want to like just do like all the old issues and then be like, okay, well, this is for all the past however many issues. Like when I started this one, I didn't want to be like, oh, I haven't talked about this book for like the last 25 issues, but let me talk about those, and then I'll just recap it, and then talk about 26. It's like, nope, I'm just gonna keep talking about whatever the newest issue is, and just go from there, and not worry about recapping. I'll just like recap along the way, like I did this time, and be like, well, like that one time when Marco and Alana totally were arguing about stuff, and then he threw groceries at her and stuff, because she was all, you're cheating on me, and he's all like, well, yeah, you're on drugs, and like, it's crazy. But yeah, that's for this video. I'm not sure if I'm going to come back with these weekly. I will try to come back with these weekly, because I'm trying to catch up on everything I'm reading, and then cut down my pull-list to like just certain stuff, because a lot of stuff I'm reading is like ending now, but this is like a topic for another video, whatever. But this is the first time I've had a comic book talk in a while, so they're not dead, still doing them. And this was Saga number 26. Feel free to leave any comments in the comments, and thanks for listening. And until you hear from me again, hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share with your friends, or not, that's cool too. And like I said, until you hear from me again, I'm now signing off.